Hello everyone, I'm George Taylor from Imagine Nerding, and on this episode, I'll share secrets from Toon Lagoon at Universal's Islands of Adventure. Before we get started, I wanted to ask everyone to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you can be updated whenever I upload a new video about Disney, Universal, or theme park history. Islands of Adventure opened on May 28, 1999 after years of planning. The short history of Islands of Adventure is that Universal was going to open a park called Cartoon World that would be based on licensed property from Warner Brothers' Jay Ward, of Rocky and Bullwinkle fame, and DC Comics. After the release of the Jurassic Park film, Universal decided that they had to add that intellectual property, also called an IP, and restructure the entire concept of Cartoon World to Islands of Adventure with 6 themed lands. Of course, this was before the Harry Potter editions. This isn't the video to talk about the full story of Islands of Adventure, but I wanted to bring everyone up to speed. What I do want to talk about is how amazing Toon Lagoon is and how you need to pay special attention to all the details that are around. When Disney scrapped the idea for Beastly Kingdom at the Animal Kingdom park, many of the Imagineers went to work on Islands of Adventure. I always say that Islands of Adventure is the best non-Disney Disney theme park ever built. So let's take a look at the hidden and not so hidden details of Toon Lagoon, a very misunderstood land.
Even the signs have a little bit of a cartoon flair here, like a speech bubble with a little hand pointing. Another example of the signage. Again, more like it's a speech bubble, but as you walk through Islands of Adventure, and I didn't get enough photos, they have different icons for all of the lands and the rides, which are crazy. So on this side, it's called Photo Funnies in BOGO, and the other side, it's got the Phantom on it. Interesting choices. So the Beetle Bailey store, obviously it's got the big camouflage tent because he was always sleeping with the giant light bulb. Love that in the middle of it. But if you come around to the side, it's got the canvas stitching in it. And then if you look towards the ground, you will see how the colors bleed out of it. And you get the idea that the comic strip is bleeding out into real life, which is part of what we've got here. And inside the Beetle Bailey store, a lot of references to old style comic art, the Phantom. Some actual animation, Crazy Cat, I think, yeah. And then old cartoons, comics. So again, these are sort of dead intellectual properties. Nobody really knows who they are, but they're here. Something I just noticed, it's got a little turner on the back, just like you would have on a wind-up mouse. Don't forget to look up. Continues outside, it's on the poles. And again, sorry I keep saying that, there are tributes to the cartoon characters of the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. Well, I remember these growing up, so even in the 70s. I love this little column display here. They've hidden it with newspapers. Comics, to be exact, excuse me, wow. And at the exit, you got some clouds. Nice. I like the way it's laid out, and I like the color scheme, but who knows who in the world these characters are any longer. There are a lot of hidden gags here in the Toon Island at Universal Islands of Adventure. If anybody familiar with the Family Circus knows, sometimes Billy will go off an adventure. And you can follow his path through the park. I have to do this and avoid other people. It goes by the cannon, goes around, and if you notice, Hagar's water is flowing over and into this funnel, but then it continues over here, and the water comes out of this funnel right here. But that's not all. We've got to keep looking, because Billy came out the other side, and he's still going, ladies and gentlemen, and there he is. And this is Mark Trail, an old comic. So yeah, you got to pay attention when you're in Islands of Adventure. And if you noticed, Hagar broke through his bunnies, and you've got water coming through the pipe, and like we saw in the video earlier, it comes back over to this side. And you can see that it's coming out of the pipe. And there's little Nemo falling out of bed, one of the quintessential comics. This land really comes to life at night with the neon lights. I do like the Flash Gordon and the rocket out front. And here's something interesting. I've never really liked Kathy's ice cream display. It's just kind of weird. But once you walk around to the side, oh, there's a diving board up there. Ah, I'd never caught that before. Huh. Neat. And if you're outside the comic strip cafe, catch your eye that look, the comic strip's been broken. And here,
who put a building there?
you've got her crashing into it, which caused the explosion out of the comic strip cafe. And if you pay enough attention, she'll talk every once in a while. Oh, and she's got polka dot underwear on too.
Bend my wart.
But it's really neat to see it now as an explosion on this side. And let's see what happens when you look on the other side. Ah, there you go. She went right through it. Pretty cool. And up at the top of this door is Crazy Cat, and he's obviously dropping a brick on somebody's head. Awful hard to see that gag go all the way through, but it's there. Okay, I had to come back and wait for it to get a little bit darker, but now you can see it that much better with the reflection, and they light up just a little bit, so you can see now that he's dropping a brick on his head. And that makes so much more sense with the lights on. A little bit more animated. There's the little gasoline alley shop with a box of skunks called the Skunk Works, with Stinker of the Month, the Honorable Little Abner. And again, sort of an outdated IP. It's hard to understand what is going on in this area without a little research and a little history.
Yes, oh, swell woman, just like mine. Better not be. We want our wives to be friends.
So it sounds like in the background they're playing old radio shows. But you've got all of these references to gasoline inside the gasoline alley store itself.
Now, if I give her the shot, Jessica will, she'll think she has good reason to be.
with some old-fashioned air and gas pumps. And then it gets into a very strange and odd surf shop.
Gee, that's for night. Just hope this won't be habit for her.
So here at the front of Gasoline Alley, we've got the Gasoline Alley character and some tires. And there's a leak. There's a leak right there. Wow. I wonder if that's been here since the beginning. That's pretty darn cool. So you've got the roadside restrooms. Gas, oil, brakes, lubes. And sadly, they're redoing something over here. But what's odd to me is they changed the Wasamata U into a Pets 2 gift shop, but I guess that's what you have to do. One thing I liked about Toon Island is you can see it says Ale to the Chief, which is a reference to how they used to have wordplay in some older cartoons and comic strips. They've got this area covered up now because they're doing some work back here, but you can still see the top of it. Again, if you look down on the floor, you've got this big Hushabomb. Great icon. Oh, and it just exploded. And on the ground, you've got the explosion marks that would be in a cartoon or a comic strip. Just a nice little detail. And then continuing the theme, obviously, comic strips galore. Ah, I like it. Wimpy's is a hamburger grinder. And of course, Popeye's is spinach. That makes sense. See? Just follow where it goes to the X.
Thank you so much for watching this video about Toon Lagoon. Have you run across these details before? What's your favorite part of Toon Lagoon? Leave me a comment. I would love to hear from you. I'm George Taylor from Imaginerding, and I hope to see you in the parks.